Good morning and welcome to Daf Yomi Maseches Chagigah, Daf Tet number 9. We have a wonderful shir for you today. It'll be the new adjective for today, wonderful. Check up the definition in either the Oxford Dictionary or Merriam-Webster's Dictionary. I believe Merriam-Webster was a Jewish Merriam. Check it up. You might see something unbelievable there. And then you have to check up the word unbelievable. I really had a special celebration planned for today. Chagigah is a time of celebrating. I had a special outfit I wanted to show everybody, but we're going to have to wait till either Motzei Shabbos or Sunday because I'm very rushed here. It's Friday. I totally forgot to bring it. I had to go to the clinic to pick up some medicine. My son and my mother-in-law. And I don't have too much time, so I'm giving you my time. You give me your time. Watch it, like it, enjoy it. Please subscribe if you enjoy the content. If you don't enjoy the content, you can subscribe anyway. I give you permission to subscribe even if you don't enjoy it, because I believe that fully one day you will enjoy it. I guess I'm like an acquired taste, like fine wine. You have to get to a certain level to enjoy me. All right, let's go. The Gemara says on Daf Tes, the Mishnah, Mi shalal chag v'yom tov rishon shal chag chagigah is kol haregel v'yom tov ha'achron shal chag. If you didn't, this time on Sukkot, if you didn't bring the shalmi chagigah, we learned that you're supposed to bring the shalmi chagigah on the first day. If you didn't bring it on the first day, you have something called tashlumin to bring it, the shalmi chagigah, the entirety of Sukkot, even Shmini Atzeres. And Pesach, you'd have the entire Pesach, 7 days. And we'll learn that Shavuos, you also have 7 days, even though it's not Shavuos anymore. Avar Regel v'lo Chag, once the Regel is over, Sukkot is over, Pesach is over, Eino Chag, Eino Chayav b'Achriyu, so you're not responsible for it. You can't be Mekayim the mitzvah. Zen Emar Me'uves lo Yuchal Litakon Litkon v'Chisaron lo Yuchal Himano, something which is crooked. You can't make straight something which is lacking. You can't fill. What's considered something crooked that you can't fix? Zabal Erva, a holy man of mamzer, is talking about someone who has a illicit relationship with a woman, and he has a child that's a mamzer, right? If you have a child from a chi of kares, according to most poskim, something is a chi of kares. So you bring a mamzer into the world, a child's a mamzer. The mamzer can't really be fixed. It can only marry mamzeres. It can't marry a regular Jew. So you can't really fix it. Im Tomar begon to gozel. Maybe you'll say Moeves lo yichol itakon is talking about someone who steals, or someone who he steals stealthily, or he steals in broad daylight. Yachol hu lachzir, he can return it. So it's not, he has tashlumin for that. V'yitakin. Rishon ben Yochai Omer ein korin Moeves el mishul hayam mesukam betchila. He says it's more specific, and that has to be referring to someone. A Moeves has to be someone that originally was straight, and then he became crooked, and then you can't fix it. Who was doing the right thing, he was on the ways of the Torah, and then he left the community. He went to India and started observing Hinduism. All right. Nora says, Minani Mili, where do you know? This is going to be the subject of even with Ben Sion. I've been following even Ben Sion. It's getting better every day. And there's shiurim, new chidushim every day. This is going to be the subject. Tashlumin. This is the subject of the daf. How do you know you can do tashlumin? Amar b'yochanan mishum Rav Shmuel nemar atzeres b'shvi shal Pesach v'nemar atzeres b'shmini shal Chag. It says the word atzeres both by the last day of Pesach, last day of Yom Tov of Pesach, and also by Shmini Atzeres. Malahalan tashlumin. Just like we're going to find out later that Shvi Shal Pesach, you have Tashlumin, Afkan Tashlumin, so too, even Shmini Atzeres is Tashlumin, you can bring all 8 days of the Shalmi Chagigah, Mufne. Whereas it has to be that the word Atzeres by Sukkot is extraneous. Ilav, Mufne, if it's not extraneous, you can't learn Gzeir Shava unless the word that you're learning it from is extraneous, it's extra, and therefore the only reason the Torah wrote it is to learn something new from it. Because it's not extraneous. There's logically we wouldn't learn the Gzera Shava. Because Pesach is really part of one Pesach. Pesach is one holiday, but Shemini Atzeres, like the Merz and Sukkot, it's different than the regular first days, 7 days of Sukkot in 6 different ways. So in some ways, it's considered regular from the Atzmo. You wouldn't be able to learn the Gzera Shava Atzeres. La'ai afnuye mufna. The Gemara says really it is mufna. Michti my Atzeres also besias malacha. The word Atzeres means stop from doing malacha. Haksiv lo sasa malacha. It already says by Sukkot don't do malacha. Atzeres katzar Rahman al-Amli. Why does it say the word Atzeres again? Right? It says you can't do work on Shmini Atzeres. Why does it say the word Atzeres again? Ela shmamina lafnuyet. Tell you the word is extraneous to learn the Gzera Shava. Tana, this is Rabbi Yochanan quoting name of Rabbi Shmuel. Now from this brisa, it's not abundantly clear that you have all 7 days for Tashlum. And all it says is that once we know that Shvi Shal Pesach is good for Tashlumin, so also Shmini Atzeres on Sukkot is good for Tashlumin. How do you know there's a concept of Tashlumin at all? Right? It says Chagigah is really the first day. We're going to see a pasuk. The pasuk says, also, we'll see in the coming brisa. Also, really refers to the first day. So how do you know? It's not really clear abundantly from where this brisa that you have Tashlumin for the Rishon. So we're going to bring another brisa. A brisa bringing somewhere else. The previously quoted pasuk, which is in Devarim, you should be celebrate the Chag Hashem, Shivas Yomim, 7 days. Talking about Sukkot. You might think you can bring the Shalmei Chagigah any day you want, even the Chagigah. Talmud Lomar Oso. And the pasuk says Oso at the the first day you bring the Shalmei Chagigah, you don't bring it all 7 days. Shiva. But does say at the beginning of the pasuk, it says, where are we? It says Shiva. Where am I? What's going on here? Yeah, it says Shivas Yomim. This is not in Dvarim. It's in Vayikra. Shivas Yomim. Yachla Yechol Kol Shiva. Tamalomar also the Chav Yitachol Kol Shiva. You can lamar Shiva. Why say Shiva? Why does it go out of the way to say Shiva if really the mitzvah is the first day? Chagosim also is talking about Shalmei Chagigah. So the word is l'tashlumin. There, you know, it says 7 days tashlumin. Minayim shimlo chag. So what does it mean l'tashlumin? Does it mean that you have a 7-day period? The first 7 days of Sukkot is the first day is really the Iker Chiyuv, and the other 6 days are tashlumin. Or does it mean that the first day is the mitzvah, and then you have 7 more days for tashlumin, and Atzeres is one of those days. Shmini Atzeres is one of those days. We're going to discuss this in Ben Sion. I'll tell you briefly the way I learned it to understand this. The Brisa continues. How do you know if you didn't bring the korban Shalmei Chagigah on the first day of Sukkot? You could even bring in Shmini Atzeres. Also, it says in the pasuk, the 7th month, you should celebrate Sukkot. It says the month, you might think you can bring in the entire month. You can bring the Shalmei Chagigah before Sukkot, after Sukkot. Also at the Chagigah, you have to be during the holiday of Sukkot and not outside the holiday of Sukkot. Also, at the end of the brisa means the holiday of Sukkot, doesn't mean the first day. My tashlumin. What does it mean tashlumin? He says the concept of tashlumin is for the first day. Rishaya Omar tashlumin zelazeh. Rishaya says it's tashlumin zelazeh. What exactly does this mean? The way I would explain the machlokes is between Rabbi Yochanan would say tashlumin l'rishon, meaning that the mitzvah is the first day. The Torah gave a dispensation to do tshuva by bringing it another 6 days, or on Sukkot another 7 days. You're doing tshuva. That's what I'm saying. Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yoshaya says that really the din is that all 7 or 8 days is potentially b'diavad good for bringing the Chagigah. Lechatchila, the Torah wants you to bring it on the first day. My beinayu. What's the nafka between them? I already gave away you can see them, but I'll bear it out in the brisa to give it more proof. My beinayu. Amar b'zeira Chagigah b'yom rishon and nispasha b'yom sheni. We're talking about someone who was lame. He couldn't walk on the first day. He had a broken bone, or he had a hip replacement, and he couldn't walk the first day. By the second day, it's healed. Um, the second day is healed. B'yom sheni kamenayu. Reyochanan amar Tashlum the Rishon. Reyochanan holds Tashlum for the first. Like he went to Lo Chazi Rishon. He wasn't fit on the first day. Chagigah we know. Eno yachal lahalach baraglav. It says regalim. So he's part from the mitzvah of Olas Riyah and Shamei Chagigah. The whole 7 days, we learn somehow from these brises that all 7 days or all 8 days is really b'di'eved time for the mitzvah. So therefore, if you're fit the second day, you can bring it. Rabbi Yochanan only say Tashlum l'rishon. Amar Chizkiah nitma b'yom maybe b'layla, b'layla b'yom maybe, b'layla eno maybe. Yochanan maraf b'layla nami maybe. This is all in a case of a nazir. A nazir, we know the halacha is that if in his 30 days before he finishes the zeros, he comes in contact with the tamei mace, which is not allowed to do. So he has to observe 7 days of cleanliness, and then on the 8th day, bring a korban to finish off recovering from his tumah. So before he gets a chance on the 8th day to bring the korban, he becomes tamei. So if he becomes tamei during Chizkiah says he becomes tamei during the day, the 8th day. So then maybe, so he already became chayiv in the karbanos of the first 7-day period of recovering from his tumah. So therefore now he became tamei on the 8th day before bringing the korban. So after another 7 days, on that 8th day, meaning 14 and 15 days later, he has to bring 2 sets of karbanos, one for the first period of 7 days and one for the second period of 7 days. But if he becomes tamei at night, the night, the beginning the 8th day, right? So then he doesn't bring a karbanos for the first 7 days of Tyra, only for the second days of Tyra. Yochanan says even if he comes tamei at night, he already became tamei. He already became this chayiv in the korbanos of the first 7-day period. So you see, Rabbi Yochanan holds that even though Rabbi Yochanan would normally hold Tashlum in the Rishon, he holds over here. Even though when you're not there, here there's no period over here where you're it's roy to bring a korban. Right, you're not roy to bring a korban. The basis of tashlumin, according to Rabbi Yochanan, is that the chiyuv it's all based on the original chiyuv. So according to how can you say, if you're telling me balayla that you're already nischayiv in the korbanos, it has to be that there was a clear cut chiyuv, and the clear cut chiyuv has to be during the day. At night, you're not roy to bring korbanos. You can't bring a korban at night. So the Gemara says, "Amar Rabbi Yirmiyah shiny tumah the ishla tashlumin b'Pesach sheni." Tumah is Tumas Nazir, but the concept of Tumas Mace also applies by Korban Pesach. And we see by Tumah there is a concept of Tashlumin. Exactly the question. I'm not really getting this question so clear. Question is from the Nazir is that Yochanan says you have to be someone who's fit at the right time in order to do Tashlum, and you have to be Chazi Barishon. Like a Chigir has to be Chazi on the first day in order to have Tashlum. So here over here about Laila, he becomes Tamei at Laila. He never was Chazi to bring a korban. So he has Tashlumin. So the Gemara says Shani Tuma has Tashlumin and Pesach Sheni. There is a broader concept of Tashlumin by Tuma, that even if he's not fit at that time, he still has Tashlumin. He would still agree by Chizkiah Tashlumin Zelazeh by Tuma. Mask the Rav Papa asked him, Anichel man Amr Pesach Sheni Tashlumin the Rishonu. Pesach Sheni is a Tashlumin of the Rishon, so there's a concept of Tashlumin. And we say Tashlumin Zelazeh. El man Amr Sheni Regal Fnei Atzmahu and Tenamid Beis. Sheni, the Pesach Sheni is considered its own holiday. It has nothing to do with making up Pesach Rishon. Ma'ikal Meimar. What are you going to say? So we finally relent and say Rabbi Yochanan really holds the reason a Nazir, even if he becomes Tamei B'Layla, he's bringing 2 sets of Karbanos, is because Laila Eno Mechusar Zman. There's technicality, maybe there are Rabbanon, you're not supposed to bring Karbanos at night, but technically you are roy to bring Karbanos during the nighttime. So therefore, since you're roy to bring Karbanos at the nighttime, you are fit already to bring the Karbanos. So therefore, you have to bring 2 sets of Karbanos after you complete your second 7 days of Tyra, because you already started, you're already in Chayev, it's considered like Yom Rishon, you're already Chazi Yom Rishon, because Laila is really midaraisa kosher to bring a korban. We have Rabbi Yochanan. How can Rabbi Yochanan say that? I'm Rabbi Yochanan. Ra achas b'layla shtayim b'yom maybe shtayim b'layla achas b'yom maybe. Another halacha. Tuma is talking about a zav. A zav is someone who sees a mission. Valkyrie is a type of a mission. You see semen. Zav is another thing that comes out of the aver. Not exactly as liquid as thick. It's more viscous. Ziva, zav comes out. So in order to become a zav, a big zav, you have to have 2 re'iyos, or 3 re'iyos is going to be mechayiv in a korban. So let's say a zav has to again observe 7 days of cleanliness. And the 8th day he brings a korban, just like a nazir who becomes tameh. So now he observes 7 days of cleanliness. Then the night of the 8th day, when the 8th day is beginning, he sees another emission of ziva at the 8th night, shtayim bayom, and then he sees 2 on the 8th day before he brings the karbanos. Maybe you have to bring karbanos to, again, you're tameh again. Now you have to do another 7 days, but you have to bring karbanos from the first set of Tyra. Also, maybe shtayim layla v'achas bayom, maybe, but he sees 2 at night and 1 during the day. He's not maybe. If Rabbi Yochanan holds that Laila is even a time that is appropriate to bring karbanos, maybe, even if he sees 2 at night and 1 during the day, he should bring. So the Gemara says, because it's already a time to bring a korban. So the Gemara says, Rabbi Yochanan was only saying this according to his previous statement, was only according to Manda Amar that holds Laila as Mechusar Zman. He technically doesn't, he technically holds, like we said before, Laila is not Mechusar Zman. He was saying this statement about Zav according to the Manda Amar who says Laila is considered not appropriate time to bring a korban. Livra Omer Pshita. So why do you have to tell me that? It's obvious according to one who holds Laila Mechusar Zman, right? So if he's 2 at night and 1 during the day, he's not going to have to bring for the first korbanos for the first 7 days of Tyra. So the Gemara says, it's necessary to teach it for the other chiddush, for the other statement that he made. If he sees 2 during the day and 1 at night, you have to bring korbanos for the first one. After the Rav Shisha B'rei Rav Idi. Kamashmong to Rav Yosef, this is a discussion that goes on in Maseches. Which Masech does this go on? In Krisus. Krisus is a machlokes. Meaning technically if you see 1 emission, you're called a Balkari or a Zav. So you're only called a Zav when you see the 2nd emission, then you're called a Zav. So the Chiddush is, Rav Yosef says the Chiddush is that because someone who sees 1 at night and 2 during the day, so therefore at night he's considered to be a Balkari. He only comes a Zav during the day, so therefore it's not like he started his Zivas at night. He started the Zivas during the day because only 1 emission makes him a Balkari, Rav Yosef says, so therefore it makes sense. Even though the night is not a fitting time to bring a korban, and you have to be really chazi to bring a korban in order to be chayiv korbanos for the first set of Tyra, it doesn't really matter because 1 emission only makes you a Balkari. It's not called Ziva. Rav Shisha really argues on him, and he says no. It's already once you see the 2nd day, the Ziva, the 2nd emission on the day, so therefore retroactively it makes the 1 at night considered to be a Ziva also, and therefore you started at a time when you were not chazi, you were not roy to bring a korban. You're not roy to bring a korban, so then you don't have to bring a korban to make it up. Continue the Mishnah. We talk on Vichisar and It's not really a Barhei Lehil. Barhei was a ger. It's called Barhei according to the article over here. Hey, and hey were added to the names of Abraham and Sarai. Abraham and Sarah it became so a ger. They were the first gerim. That's why they called them Barhei Lehil. Hai Lahimanos Lehimolos Mibayla. It should say Moab is a crooked thing. Lacking, means to be counted. The proper word should be filled. Chisar is a lacking, should be filled up. Ella, what does it mean? Chisar no yuchal himanos. He said, "Azel should be new chaver l'dvar mitzvah hulo nimna iman." People started getting together to do a matching campaign, and they wanted at least 10 people to do the matching to make it. They're going to give $180,000. They wanted to match it 10 times to give $1.8 million. And he did not want to join with them. I wonder if people take me seriously. It is really what the Gemara is talking about, maybe. Tanya Nami Hachi, Tanya Nami Hachi, Brisa like this. Moabas Lichol Ikon Zesh Bita Kriyash Mashal Shach, Kriyash Mashal Arvid. What does it mean? A crooked thing you can't fix. Someone who forgot to say Kriyat Shema in the morning or Kriyat Shema at night, or Shabbat Tefillah Mishal Shach, Tefillah Shal Arbis. He didn't daven in the morning or at night. This price says exactly Barhei. People gather together to do a mitzvah, and he doesn't join. Amalei Barhei the Hillel. Barhei asked Hillel, different story. Might just say V'shaftem Risa Min Tzadik Rasha. You'll do tshuva, and you'll see the difference between a tzaddik and Rasha. Min Oved Elokim Lo Shar Lo Avadu. Someone who serves Hashem and someone doesn't serve Hashem. Hainu tzaddik, hainu Oved Elokim. Hainu Rasha, hainu Shar Lo Avadu. Why is the repetition in the pasuk? A tzaddik is someone who serves Hashem. A Rasha is someone who doesn't serve Hashem. Amalei Avadu Lo Avadu Tervayet Tzaddik Gemurei Haninu. The end of the pasuk, Avadu Lo Avadu, has nothing to do with tzaddikim, with a difference in a tzaddik and a Rasha. Both of them are considered complete tzaddikim. It's comparing someone who learns his Gemara or whatever he's learning that day 100 times. He's considered lo avadu. He didn't serve Hashem 101 times. He's considered serving Hashem because apparently he'll remember it better the 101st time. Said to Hillel, because one time you already called in lo avadu. You can learn it out from the donkey driver. They'll drive you 10 parsos. A parsa is 4 mil. 40 kilometers for a zuz, for $1. Chadesar parsi betray zuze. 11 parsos, 44 kilometers betray zuze. They'll charge you 2 zuzim. 2 bitcoins. I don't know. Amrle Eliyahu said to Barhei, Amri Leila Rebelazar. Some say Eliyahu said to Rebelazar, Maidich Siv, Hine Saraftich velo bekesef, Bachartich bekur oni. I serafted, I purified you, but not through the smeldering of silver. B'chartich b'kor oni. I chose you by putting you through the crucible of poverty. Hashem was looking for great things to give to Klal Yisrael. He only found the best thing he found was to give Klal Yisrael poverty. Fitting or appropriate is poverty for Jews, like a red strap around a white horse. It sounds like it's good to be poor. If you look in the news, I think I saw a sign held up by an African American man in America. Google it. Jews control America. They do. They are the richest people. Disproportionately rich throughout the world. Out of, I think, the number of millionaires in the world, I think maybe close to 10% are Jewish. Out of the billionaires in the world, I think it's closer to 15 or 20% are Jewish. The population of Jews in the world is somewhere between 15 to 20 million Jews in the world. The world is comprised of more than 7.5 billion people. That would make the Jews close to, I don't know, less than maybe 0.01%, 0.1%. I don't know, 1 every 1,000. How would it? Say there's 7 million Jews. Yeah, we have 1,000. Every 1 every 1,000. So that would be 0.1%, not 10% or 20%. They are this much, but it could be that they're the richest people. A lot of Jews are among the richest people, but there definitely is more poverty. A lot of poverty among Jews, especially Haredim. Most Haredim live below the poverty line. So I don't know exactly what this Gemara is saying. If you have an idea, if you have a thought about it, leave it in the comments below. All right. So Rabbi Shimon Menasya Omer Ezum obviously Yuchal Itakon Zehebala Erva Holy Men Mamzer. Hold it in. So his opinion is hold it in only if you had a child. Lo hold it low. If you didn't have a child, it's not something which you can't correct. V'ha Tanya Shimon Menasya Omer. Going to Adam Efshar Sheachzer Ganav Yitaken. If you steal a person stealthily so you can return it, you can fix yourself up. Goes Adam Efshar Sheachzer Gezlav Yitaken. You're still in broad daylight. You could return him. and fix to tshuva al haba al aishis for ashra labaila. Once you have relations, you commit adultery with a married woman. You answer her if you do it baratzon, if she does it willingly, leave amazed. You answer her on the husband. Nitram and olam. You can't do tshuva for that. Why can't you do tshuva? Because she can't go back to her own husband. Halachalo. Rishon ben Yochel Omer Ein Omer Bikro Gamal Bikro Chazriel Bikro Tlet. Rishon ben Yochai says in the Mishnah, someone has to be Moavis Al Yichal Lito, has to be someone who was originally straight. So, like as he's proving it, we don't say when you want to bring a sacrifice or you want to eat something, you don't say check the camel, check a pig. We know there's an kosher. Al Bikro Tlet, check the lamb. So is who's considered someone pure originally that you could eat? It's Talmud Chacham Shepirish Min Torah. It's Talmud Chacham who originally was kosher, and then he left the Torah. Yehuda ben Lakish Omer Kol Talmud Chacham Shepirish Min Torah. Love because of Omer Kitzipor No Dedet Min Kana Kenish Nodim Komo is just like a bird leaves its nest, so to a man leaves his place. So Omer Matzu Avosechem Bi Avel Kirach Kol Me'alai. Hashem complains, while your forefathers left me, they did sins, because they distanced themselves from me, lo kasha. So, anyways, you see from the Gemara that sometimes the Gemara says even once you commit adultery, all right, you ask her on her husband, that's considered to be enough. You don't have to bring a mamzer into the world. So the Gemara says, lo kasha. If you have relations collab with your sister who's not married or it's not adultery, she's an erva, so you have to have a mamzer in order to do something, because you're not asking on her husband. If you commit adultery with a married woman, so then you ask her on her husband, you don't need to have a mamzer. Everybody's saying in order to be considered something that you can't fix. Everybody's saying really, both statements regarding adultery. Kan ba'onas, kan on top of yunalis, kan baratzon. Right? We know if the Gemara in Ksuba says you only ask a woman on her husband if you do it baratzon, both of you have in mind, or she has in mind she wants to do it, as opposed to if you rape her, so then she's not also on her husband, so therefore only when you do a mom, only if you rape her and you have a mom's there, then it would be muavis al yichol litzkon. By saying mahava ha ba'onas. Alternatively, you can say both statements are talking about a raping. Lo kasha kan be'eshes kohen, kan be'eshes Israel. We know the halacha is Gemara says in Ksuvos and Daf Nun Beis, I think, or in Gimel. If you rape the wife of a Kohen, you answer her, a Kohen is more kedusha, so therefore even if you rape his wife, she still becomes asura to him. So therefore that's talking about even just cohabitating with committing adultery, as opposed to a mamzer would have to be with an ancient Israel. Ein shalom. What does this pasuk mean? Amar Rav Rav came on sheyose adam midvar halacha ledvar mikra shuvein lo shalom. Once a person he's studying halacha. He's studying halacha intensely, in a intense halacha kollel. And then he starts learning Chumash. He goes and he starts writing a sefer on Chumash. He invests all his time into saying Agadita on Chumash, on saying a nice word on the Parsha. You're never going to have peace because you're going down in your Mailim Kedusha and Moridan. You have to go up in Kedusha. You have to give more amal in Torah. But Shmuel Amar Zah Parash, we're talking about the Mishnah. Shmuel says refers to someone who's learning Gemara, and he starts making his Zikr Limud Mishnah. Yochanan Amar Afil Mishas Shas. Yochanan says even if you go from Shas to Shas, some say he's going from Shas to Yerushalmi to Shas Bavli. Some say, which I think the explanation is going from Shas Bavli to Shas Yerushalmi. No one really learns Shas Yerushalmi. The halacha is not brought out from the Shas Yerushalmi. Hope you enjoyed today's share. Stay tuned for Imad Ben Sion coming up about Machlokas from Yochanan and Rosh Hashaya, Tashlumin Larishon, Tashlumin Zelazah. Bye.